Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the glorious Zenta Malan,
And this is the goddess Diane.
and this morning we're talking about what turns women on, what women find sexy.
But we don't talk for all women. We don't speak for all women because, some women like different things.
They do. Some women don't like being turned on at all.
True. That's also true.
Some women, have. It's really interesting how some women have just let go of their sensuality and their sexuality, even though sex is a very healing modality, isn't it?
It is. I think the more busy life gets and women feel they have to be strong, they believe in their masculinity, they kind of lose that feminine desires.
And it's really interesting because we've got a very a long combined history of working intimately with people and working with women for 35 years, and certain themes become obvious.
Yes.
When you talk to women intimately and friends and socially, it's very interesting, isn't it, what comes up. There are themes that come up for women, what women find sexy and what women don't find sexy. And we were kind of discussing earlier on, weren't we, about how you have the pre-sexual arena where women become sexually receptive, just receptive to the idea. And I don't think many men realise that. It's like the foreplay that starts early in the morning.
Oh yes, that you start as you want to go, Wake up in the morning, if the first word you hear, oh dang, it's work time. Or get your eyes moving. Can I say that?
Definitely.
The first moment you open your eyes, love making starts.
Absolutely.
The way you say hello to your lover, it's quite important because that carries through the day.
And that's what starts sexual receptivity.
Yes, absolutely.
If men understand that you have to get women to be sexually receptive, because women can be sexually receptive if you've listened to them in the day and you've been attentive to them in the day and you've asked them how their day is. You actually, are genuinely interested in what they've been doing and how they're feeling and any wonderful things that happened today.
Yeah, and presence. If you to be present is really sexy. I think it goes both ways, not just men but also women. When you feel your partner is really truly there, not just in body but in mind, and the person is with you, listening to you, although sometimes they can just pretend to listen. It's okay. Just be present, just be there. That's really sexy. That
sexy.
works, because then it's going to be there in other areas as well.
Because if a man is present, you
yes.
feel connected.
Yes,
you feel
absolutely.
like heart connection. And we're talking, that the how they say the women's biggest sex organ is between the ears. Women like heart to heart connection. They like to be just this is the energy you give out and the energy reception, the receiving. And once you've got a woman sexually receptive,
she'll move your world.
but don't go treating her nipples like a radio tuner
Oh no, come on. What is that?
or that.
What is that? No.
No. And
No.
there's
No.
these whole areas that men or women, depending on what your sexuality is, that there's these whole areas that there's a nice forest to go around with a woman's sexuality.
Explore.
You don't have to just go, there's the path, it's a straight path, it's always the same path.
Follow the arrow.
Yeah, follow the arrow. It's
Kiss by numbers.
there's in our experience, there's nothing more dull than lack of spontaneity and predictability. The predictability is like, oh, he's kissing my left ear. Oh, that
Okay,
means
that's going to be next.
yeah, and there's like, and then you're not in the sensation.
You're not present.
No,
you're already
thinking,
running in front.
Yes.
Thinking, okay, that's going to be next. Okay, so now I have to make the sound. Then, come on. There are women who still fake orgasms today, and
a lot of women.
a lot of women do that, and you're cheating yourself in doing that. You are allowed to say, slow down, have an open conversation with your lover about, and that's really important, about what you like, you know, how you like to be kissed. It's important. Do you like tongue? Don't you like tongue? Do you like moving tongue, limp tongue? You know, people like different things. Be brave in allowing yourself to say what you like, what you want.
I'm taken by the image of a limp tongue.
It happens, I think. I think they are, because we are all unique and different. We have different ways in expressing our wants and needs.
I do find
to say
that sometimes I've over the years you hear that it's funny because men's egos can be really quite fragile.
Yes, it can.
And to approach the subject of sexuality and what you like sexually, men can find it really quite. They get very defensive, as opposed to just leaving it in the middle here. This is a conversation between what you like and what I like, and I'm not blaming and I'm not doing anything. It's just a beautiful, mature conversation about what I like. And it's funny because sexual conversations really, I don't really think work in the bedroom. You have to wait one day until you're actually just sitting and just going, oh, I'd really like you to bend me over the kitchen top one day. I'd really like, something spontaneous and wild, and maybe something that we did as teenagers, or I'd really like you to take me into the garden because we're not overlooked by any neighbours, and let's do it amongst the bushes, or whatever. But it's not a conversation to have when something hasn't worked in the bedroom.
Or when you're having a fight, bringing up that.
Yeah.
But then again, there is another thing that's really sexy about a man is his emotional intelligence and self-awareness. So that a conversation like this can take place without either party taking it personally as a personal insult. It's recognizing that the other person has needs that are slightly different than and if you don't tell him, how is he going to know that they can't read minds? That's the thing. We think our partners can read our minds. They are supposed to be able to do that. No.
A big essay, a big lecture.
No. Have a sit down with. If you like to have wine, have a glass of wine or coffee or whatever floats your boat, and have a nice conversation in a neutral setting.
And maybe you'd hope that the man would want to. You'd hope that the man would want to listen to you and just go, oh, that's really interesting. I obviously want to please you sexually, and there's a very fine line, I think, about emotional intelligence in men, which is very, very, it is sexy, and manliness, which in this day and age is under attack. I want my man to feel that he would protect me, that he has got my back, that he's strong, that he's forceful, and that actually is quite hard for a man to balance when he's trying to be kind of feeling and sensitive to a woman, but also stay in his manly power. Because all the workshops I've been on, it's funny that you get the men in some of these workshops on spirituality who are so effeminate and so unsexy. It's like having, a very female friend. Well, if I want to feel, like a sexually powerful, I want a man to be in his testosterone power, and it's something that's quite under attack at the moment, isn't it?
Although some women do like feminine men, you have to recognize that as well, and that's fine. If that's what you want, go for it.
If it turns you on.
If it turns you on, go for it. The feminist movement has lost its soul has lost the real meaning of what it means to be a feminine or a feminist. Yes, our men are under attack, women. Come on. Put on your big old panties and say what you mean and mean what you say. I know someone who's going to like that quote right now. So if you want to have a conversation with your lover, be straight up. Don't come with long stories. Just be true to yourself. Be strong in being a woman. And that doesn't mean pushing your man around. It means recognizing and appreciating yourself
Absolutely.
as a woman.
And I'm just thinking about, even in lesbian relationships, it's quite interesting how you do still have the butch kind of lesbian. And I know it's a term that's very familiar and used. And, you know, you still do have one who has more masculine qualities and one who has more feminine. It's balance. It's the law of nature.
It's balance.
Everything is balanced, and no matter.
And that's beautiful when the balance is there and maintained. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that the woman or the woman always has to be, you know, submissive to a powerful partner. You know, when you come to sexuality in the bedroom, the whole way that roles move and power comes through sexuality, it's such a healing modality, sex is. And if you just use that sacred time to move energy through you, to heal you, and to really kind of take yourself to a different spiritual level, with working with your partner, and what really does work for both of you.
Discover, because maybe you've been in a relationship for years and you've been doing the sex by numbers thing, and it's never too late to sit back and say, okay, let's just recap a little bit what works for us, and maybe start to explore, discover what is it that you want.
Because you just made me think of something, and it's like, it's funny how people get these sexual patterns. They get sexual patterns when they're young, don't they? People start their sexuality.
It's the imprint.
Yeah, the imprint.
That's,
Your first sexual experiences may work when you're 16 or 17. Does that really work when you're 40? Does that really work, you know, as you... No, it really doesn't.
And the porn thing is really huge under young people. And no. That's not real. That's a movie. No. Raw, real, pure love making is beautiful. It's sacred. And it's on fire. Come on.
And you know, it's said that people, it is said by psychologists and stuff, that people never go off each other physically.
Yes.
But what happens is the communication channels break down.
True.
So if you want good sex, you need good communication. Good communication.
Yeah, and I think there are many men saying, oh, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk.
I don't want to listen either.
I don't want to listen. It's okay. There are other ways to communicate. You don't always have to put all your feelings on the table and open your heart wide if you don't want to. There are other ways, like a gentle touch, just recognizing your partner in the space that you are in, walking past her, past him. Just brush them with your fingers. That's recognizing, I recognize you in my space. And I like you in my space. That's huge. That's big communication. That's non-verbal communication that, geez, it goes a long, long way.
It really does.
Yes.
That's the sexual receptivity. That's the whole, and you know, love and care. And it's wonderful because it's now started raining. And the fertile rain is coming to visit. So the idea of this, because what you just said is quite interesting, because if men have said, oh, I don't want to listen, she's so boring, or I don't like what she says, or I don't want to talk, I don't want to express my emotions. Well, you know what? By you not wanting to talk or listen, she's not going to want to open her body to you. And if one person shuts down their communication channels, the other person will shut down their communication channels. And if you think that, you know, the channel to the cosmic gateway between her legs is always going to be open if you never talk to her or listen to her.
It's important to share
No.
some things. What is also sexy for me is when a man is really passionate about something, when he shares his passion, because then you see that twinkle in his eyes, his voice becomes all sparkly and strong, and the body language changes. That's beautiful and very sexy to see someone that you love being passionate about something that makes them all sparkly.
Yeah, and for some, I know this isn't for everyone. You know, I'm an astrologer, and I realise that whatever you're made up of astrologically, if you've got a lot of Saturn and Capricorn in your chart, you're not going to have the same fiery passion as an Aries or a Leo or a Sagittarius. But the other thing, talking about passion, is also feeling the passion between you and your partner. So when he looks at you and he goes, "Oh God, you're so sexy. You look fantastic in that dress," or "You look fantastic in those pants," and "Wow, you look beautiful." And you say to them, "Well, you look so handsome today.
That's important.
You look so," you know. Just
That's
if you catch them at a moment
Yes.
where you think, "Oh wow, I can just see the vitality coming out of you."
Say
You just
it.
go, "Yes, say it, say it."
Say it.
The communication channels.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
also, if you communicate and so for instance, you say something to your partner that is not complimentary to them, they're not going to open up for you tonight.
No.
And it's both sides. You know, if you berate your man for chewing too loud, come on, then
So true. And I think it's very, very true for women, because you can be feeling kind of, feeling a little bit kind of saucy today, feeling the vibe, you know, feeling the spicy vibe, and then, you know, you'll get, you know, maybe your partner will shout at you, or he's a bit irritated, or he'll say something that's not very, very kind, and that's it. It's just like gone. It's like a deluge.
again, should it be? Because then you take it personally. It's his shit that he's dealing with.
That is his shit, yeah.
As you have yours. So sometimes we do snap at our partners. Then you just make up for it. If you do and you realize you snapped out, it's okay. You're human. It happens. Make up for it. Go
Communicate.
immediately, hug and say,
Communicate.
you know, I'm dealing with some stuff at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. This is not
Also-
about you. This happened at work, and I brought it home. I didn't let that energy out at work at the person who it should have been let out at, and now unfortunately I brought it home, and it's in our home.
Yeah.
And then, you know, go, and like you say, if you know, you just go, okay, well, thank you for sharing that you can't imagine how far that goes.
Yes.
If someone takes responsibility and just says, you know, I'm tired, I'm worried, whatever it might be, because that really does affect
It's okay.
men's performance
Yes,
and
of
women's
course.
performance.
Stress is a huge factor. It's not rejecting you, it's just stress. Women also get stressed sometimes when we have lots of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good release. It's always healing. Also, what I've heard from men that sometimes puts them off is when they compliment a woman and she just throws it back.
Oh.
Like, "Oh, you look lovely. Oh no, I'm fat." Or, "Oh no, this is not really you lying." No, that's not, after a while it's going to stop. And also women, if they compliment men, mean it. We mean it when we say you're sexy.
Confidence.
That's
Sexual confidence
the
is,
thing.
yeah.
I hear many men say the sexiest thing a woman can wear is confidence. I hear it quite a lot. And it doesn't matter your shape. And also for men, you know, confidence is sexy in a man. But not overconfidence. That cocky thing of a teenage boy in his hormonal stage. You don't need to fluff your feathers for us. Although we do like some prancing. You don't need to become an ass in doing it. Just be yourself. I think what is sexy is a guy who's true to himself.
Yeah.
Then there are also
Yeah.
other avenues.
And it's true, because with women, you know, the older you get, it's really funny if you carry on with your self-love and your sacred self-care. Zenta and I do workshops on sacred self-care, and we do workshops on relationships and keeping the love alive after you've got your marriage or your relationship after a few years. And it's important to give this wonderful to keep your own confidence going. To you age and things look different, and it's okay, and you're still lovable, you're still beautiful, you're still sexy, and there's the love emanating from you, and therefore with your lover it will be emanating back. So
this is beautiful, and it's okay to walk naked in front of your partner. I think that's sexy. If your partner walks with all confidence, here I am.
because they say, don't they, women can be the worst
Yes.
critics, can't they?
Yes.
Where the man is
Yes.
like,
Oh, she showed up.
yes,
score.
she's naked, or she's got like a little negligee on, or she's got, who knows, a leather corset on, whatever it floats your boat. But it's like, there's nothing like, this woman just going, well, hey, here I am.
But I do like a man who looks after himself as well. And many
Smells
women
good.
do. Yeah, smell is important.
Very
Important. Many women say, a groomed man is sexy. So again, you don't need to be all feminine. Look after yourself. A groomed man is sexy. A guy who really looks after himself. That means he's going to look after me. In the bedroom. If he is maintaining himself, he's proud of himself. So he's going to handle me in the same way. He's going to approach me in the same way. It's like, that is sexy. A guy who smells
And looks his clean clothes. He's got pride in himself.
oh yes,
It's
nice.
the
That's
kingly
nice.
lion,
And you
isn't
don't
it?
need to dress in all labels, brand names. No. It's. I think authentic expression is sexy. You don't need to look like everyone else. Just again, be true to yourself. Be true to who you are, and that's where self-awareness is really, really important. If you're not ready to be happy with who you are and know yourself completely, then rather try to find yourself before you try to engage with someone else.
And if you have a closing comment, what would it be? If you had to sum up, what do women find sexy and what turns women on? What would your kind of summary be?
To be present is really, really a big thing. To just be there, when you come home, look happy to see each other. That's important. And be there when you are there, not just in body but everything. Be present, be authentic, and be true to yourself and your partner.
And mine would be keep communicating,
That's really
honestly,
important.
openly, maturely.
Yes.
Mature communications. You're not 17 anymore.
No.
You
Maybe 17 is watching this.
yeah. So if you're 17, have the best fun. Do
Have
all the
fun.
wildest
Have
things,
fun.
and
Respectfully.
and evolve.
Yes.
So keep the communication
Respectfully.
going.
Yes. Let us know if you want something if you want to listen to something, or have a topic for us to discuss.
Lovely.
We'd love that.
Cheers.
Okay. Bye.